A very good evening, Zimbabwe. It is a Monday, and Mondays are always cool because we get to review what happened over the weekend. Even over an international break, we got lots to talk you through, especially given that we're looking forward to that crucial World Cup qualifier against Nigeria. Yeah, we'll let you know why it's still crucial. We being Sean Tafirenyika, our producer, Chris Meadzi. My name is Barry Manandi. On the home front, the Warriors will continue their mission to revive their 2026 World Cup qualification hopes when they go up against Nigeria at the God's Will Akpabio Stadium in Uyo tomorrow night. In international sports news, Vern Cotter's Blues will have what their coach has described as a welcome bye week to regroup after a disastrous start to their Super Rugby Pacific title defense. And in the world around the world in 60, we have updates from Mount Maunganui, Shanghai, California, and Florida.
Now, after our play of the day, we're going to bring you the beautiful game kicking off on the continent where Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang scored twice as Gabon climbed to the top of Group F with a 2-1 win over Kenya in World Cup 2026 qualifying. In Europe, Spain coach Luis de la Fuente has praised his side's character after they claimed a 5-4 penalty shootout win over the Netherlands at home to reach the Nations League semi-finals. And in South America, Argentina coach Lionel Scaloni says their 1-0 victory over Uruguay in a World Cup qualifier in Montevideo showed the depth of their squad.
The Power Play on ZiFM Sport. Manic Monday.
The track is entitled Come With Me. It's by Major League DJs and Georgia Smith. For this track, we apologize because I think many of us are going back to the weekend. Come With Me, Major League DJs. It's featuring Georgia Smith, trying to take you back to the weekend that was. That should have been on Fire Friday, but next time we may just put it there. 0772 168 045. That's our number right here in the studio. Let us know your thoughts. Our Warriors go into do battle tomorrow. All the best to them.
Let's give you a look at sports news, starting off with some golf. Zimbabwe's top-ranked amateur golfer Keegan Schutt secured a hat-trick of tournament wins in the local circuit after shooting a 4 under 68 in the final round of the Matabeleland Amateur Championship at Bulawayo Country Club yesterday. After opening his campaign with rounds of 75 and 69, Schutt saved his best for last with the lowest round of the week with a total of 4 under par 212. In netball news, the Zimbabwe Premier Netball League roared into action with thrilling encounters across different cities, marking the official start of the 2025 season at White City Stadium. The much anticipated battle of the uniformed forces saw Falcon College. Hey, Falcon.
Yay.
Falcon College.
That was a uniformed forces.
Yes,
Falcon College.
So Falcon emerged victorious, overpowering Imbizo 42-31 before crushing Rhino 61-30. Imbizo salvaged some pride with a commanding 56-30 to win over Tongogara, while Rhino secured a 53-23 triumph over the same opponents. Finish off with some athletics news. US-based Zimbabwean triple jumper Chingetai Mapaya finished 7th in the men's triple jump final at the World Athletics Indoor Championships in China. Mapaya, who jumped 16.83 meters last month in South Carolina to qualify for the global meet in Nanjing, opened his competition with 16.74 meters, which ultimately proved to be his best leap in the final. Mapaya, who won a silver medal at the Africa Athletics Championships last year, has been making a return to competition after a series of unfortunate injury setbacks.
ZiFM Stereo is untouchable. The Warriors, the Chevrons, the Cheetahs, the Mighty Warriors, and the Sables. From the pool to the track to the field, we are Team Zimbabwe.
Is our rallying cry, and there's a message here that says rewind that Major League song. Unfortunately, we can't because we've got to talk about our Warriors, they will continue their mission to revive their 2026 World Cup qualification hopes when they go up against Nigeria at the God's Will Akpabio Stadium in Uyo tomorrow night. As Zimbabwe enter the contest on the back of a spirited fight back that saw them recover from a 2-goal deficit to salvage a 2-all draw against Benin last Thursday, courtesy of goals from Marshall Munetsi and Knowledge Musona. Now, Warriors midfielder Andiri Nomota says Zimbabwe has been hard at work for what will be a tough match against Nigeria in very tough conditions.
I think with the squad, I think everyone's getting in their minds it's going to be a tough game, so we're trying to prepare as early as we can and get this minutes in training under our belts. With the climate and even just as a squad preparing, getting more games together, building the chemistry and trying to pick momentum, and now obviously getting ready for the AFCON games. So, and again, it's going to be another hot conditions there. So I think, Cameroon's help, Uganda, and I think this will be another one added to the list that will just help us get used to these conditions, and whether it's the pitches, the weather, and just any state that we are having to deal with. So I think, we're going to be prepared for that. I think we're just very open, optimistic. We obviously think we can go and get a result. So we've got a result against them in the past, albeit in our home environment, even though it was in Rwanda. But that was my first game, so that was straight in the test for me. But I think even me coming into it in a new environment, the team done really well in that situation. Got a 1-1 draw, could have even won that game. So we're looking to do the same again on their soil. So I think we come here with confidence. Obviously, give them respect because we know they have good players, they're a good team. But we're not over respect. Not going to be giving them too much respect. We're not going to allow ourselves to impose ourselves on them in the game. So, like I say, we come here trying to get a result and keep pushing on towards our goal.
Z.
The voice there of Andiri Nomota, the Warriors midfielder, talking about the tough conditions and also the match plan going into that game against Nigeria. Chris, it's already a tough encounter on the basis of Zimbabwe's condition in the group. We're bottom of the table.
Condition.
we need to salvage this campaign, number one. And then number two, we're taking on a Nigeria side that's good on any day. Further, we're taking them on in the coolest part of Nigeria at the moment, which is Uyo. But even then, it is blistering hot and humid out there. So there's a lot going against us.
That adjustment is nothing to sneeze at. And we often talk about how, they were coming out of South Africa in their last game. And had they had more of a direct route into Uyo, they would have had more time to acclimatize. Unfortunately, they didn't. So they had to go through Lagos first, then overnight, and then into Uyo the next day. And they also had a delay going into Uyo. I think it was a 6-hour delay. So a lot of time is being spent on the road and just praying for a sponsor who can give the Warriors, a private plane. Charter a plane for the Warriors.
I know somebody who can.
It's just more.
So it's just those factors that will consistently work against us. But even without all of those factors, this Nigeria side is absolutely solid. I don't think that we're going to be on the road to redemption in terms of getting a win against this Nigeria side.
Okay, well, let's hold that. Let's keep that powder dry in terms of how this is going to play out. But listen, a very formidable side are Nigeria indeed. Now, before we hear the thoughts of Sean and Alois, let's also hear the thoughts of Warriors defender Emmanuel Jalai, who wants to put in another positive performance against Nigeria.
Of course, it was my first debut for the Warriors, and I was happy with the performance, but not content because I have to continue working hard and take each game as it comes. It was a good training session, despite the weather. It's hot, but we have to adapt because I'm sure when we play on Tuesday, it's going to be almost one and the same type of humid. So I think we have to adapt and acclimatize to the weather. Of course, it's not going to be an easy game, but football is always different and football is full of surprises. We have to do our best and give it all when we play them. Of course, they've got quality and also we've got quality. So it would determine how we are going to impose ourselves on the game. First and foremost, I have to thank him for giving me the opportunity. Yeah, he's a man of his words. He's a coach who always gives us confidence, and I think before the game he just told me to do my best and do the simplest thing during the game, and I'm grateful because I did the same thing that he told me to do. It's not about the size, it's how you impose yourself in every task that you face, and also it has to go with the game intelligence, how you implement your attributes in the game and how you impose your strength. If you may ask me, I think I'm fast and also I'm tough, but that has to go with your mentality, because you have to prepare yourself mentally and physically.
Z.
The thoughts there of Emmanuel Jalai, and he clearly says, Sean, that it's not about the size, it's about how you execute.
How you use it.
Oh my God!
Yeah, it's about the motion in the ocean and how you flow.
So the whole interview, yeah, Emmanuel July, that's the part you got.
100%, it's about size. And his flow was absolutely brilliant on Thursday night.
Yep.
On his debut, full international debut, and what a performance he put in. Hopefully he gets another start tomorrow.
Hopefully, and he was talking about how his speed is one of his strengths, and I think that's something that we're gonna need to have across the entire backline tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you look at Emmanuel Jalai, he's pretty pacey, he's got speed. You look at Divine Lunga, they're pacey, they've got speed. Because I'm gonna just touch on it quickly. The front four of Nigeria play sort of almost positionless football, because they can all play in that forward line. Osimhen can play up front, he can drop inside a little bit, he can go left, he can go right. So can Ademola Lookman, Moses Simon, Samuel Chikweze. So we'll be up against it tomorrow. We've got our work cut out.
We've got our work cut out, and listen, a man who knows exactly the mentality going into a game of this nature is, of course, Alois Bunjira. Now, Alois, Sean has just rattled off the front four and the others because he didn't even talk about what's his name, the boy from
Victor Boniface,
Boniface
Rafael
Oyedinka. They have got a stellar forward line. In fact, Michael Nees, in his post-match interview on Thursday night, said that their front line is one of the top 5 in the world. So we certainly, Michael Nees. And we certainly have our work cut out for us tomorrow night.
Yeah, Nigeria, they are a good side. They are a very good side, but that's a good side that is not number 1 on that group.
Sure.
That's a good side that is not number 2 in that group.
Sure.
That's a team that is not far from us.
Yeah.
And that's a team that we actually drew against in the first game. Yeah. So I think we shouldn't scare ourselves that much. About Nigeria. He spoke about the mentality. What is the mentality? I wish the boys have got the mindset that we had when we played Nigeria in the Olympic qualifiers in 1996. I wish they had. To be honest, that team we chigai
Okay.
You know, that team was star-studded. Kanu, Okocha, the Olises of this world, the Taribo West.
Yes.
It
became the Nigeria.
Yes, that was. But we went out there. We had no professional who was playing outside of the country. We were almost all local.
They were already playing in Europe.
The only international we had was a player who was playing in college football in America.
Right.
Metembe. The rest of us, we were here in Zimbabwe. So for us, we actually decided that we are going out there to play football, not to play the names.
Right.
I think this is what we went out. We were not intimidated. The stadium was packed, almost like 80,000. A whole lot of noise, but we actually drew the first blood. We actually scored first. They actually to be honest, in that game. They later beat us, I think, last minute winner from Tijani Babangida, but we gave it a go. We gave them a scar. Even Kanus and Okochas and them, in their post-match, after winning the Olympics, they actually said, en route to this,
The toughest game.
The toughest game was against Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
So we need our boys to have that mindset.
Mm.
Don't worry about Lookman. Don't worry about Chikwezi. Don't worry about Osimhen. When you get in there, get into your outer ego.
Yes.
Get into your space.
Yeah.
And say, I am Endirne Mota. I'm here to play football.
Right.
And play football.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, unotozomuka pekuti saka tachitotamba naye ana Chikwezi ana Lookman angu atorimo. Unogona kukangana what they are there.
Right.
On that. This is what we need to do. Like you said, we need to revive our hopes. You know, mathematically we're still in it, and at the same time we also need to finish in a respectable position in the log, so that we can actually go into the AFCON with a little bit
with a positive
of
mentality.
Yes, so that we can to gain respect from the other teams. You know, there is so much to do. Psychology works in football as well. Team ikapinda yakakudherera ichiti team akatoka ro munorowa zveshuwa because vanenge vaingorine that extra energy, you know. So we need to earn respect of the other teams by doing well. Even if we don't qualify, we still need to maintain good standards. Still need to maintain. So I hope the boys go there with that mindset that
certainly.
we are going to play football.
07
any other team in the group.
0772-168-045. That's our number right here in the studio. Send us your messages and let us know your thoughts as to how this is going to play out. The positive news that has come through, Chris, is that from the media outlets in Nigeria is not taking this game lightly and are actually quite fearful of a Zimbabwe side that could leave them with a bloody nose. So that is a feather in the cap of the Warriors. They've done enough to scare Nigeria.
And I think it's also a matter of there's a sort of strong streak that's been revived in this Warriors side that I think is very clear for everybody to see. Even when you take a look at how we now present ourselves just online, it's very different. When you take a look at the playing personnel, if you're a scout for Nigeria and you're just taking a look at our playing personnel, just the spread of players, where they play, how they play, it's not a team you're going to come back and tell your coach, we're okay, you can rest some of the good players. It's not that team anymore. So I think their scouting system has done a good enough job to actually see that, you know what, this Zimbabwe side is nothing to sneeze at.
Nothing to sneeze at, indeed, albeit that we're sitting bottom of the table on 3 points. Nigeria is sitting in fourth on 6 points, so they're 3 points ahead of us. All the teams have played 5 games, and the top of the group is South Africa on 10 points, second Benin on 8, and third is Rwanda on 7. Nigeria is fourth on 6, Lesotho is on 5 points, and then Zimbabwe is on 4 points. So it's all to play for. Before we move on, let's hear a possible lineup out of Alois Bunjira. Then we'll comment on
and
that.
I need Alois to say what he said before. Say what you said. To start your 11, say what you said.
Oh, when I got in?
Yes, when you got in the studio.
I said if we don't use that lineup, we won't win.
Say Michael Neese.
So how should Michael Neese set it up?
You know, like before I go on to my lineup, when you were talking about the number of points each team has got, you know, I looked with 3 points, 6 points. Imagine I started thinking about those points against Lesotho.
Against Lesotho, we
those
I will never live to forget those 3 points.
Then you look at our game against Bafana. That we could have got a draw out of that.
We could have.
And then that's an extra
Rwanda,
4 points. Yeah.
Then against Rwanda. Guys.
So
we're supposed to be topping this group. Anyway, I just have a strong feeling, that we're gonna give it a good go.
Okay.
You know, but I hope that the coach also comes to the part and get the combinations right.
Right.
You know, I would prefer
in goal.
I would prefer Mali.
Okay.
Again, because why? Because even if we look at the experience of Arubi, he is now with what has happened, the talk, and he might actually be worse than he was. He would actually be more psychological. Yeah, psychological. I don't think he's in the right frame of mind. We may talk of experience as much as we want. So I would rather have an exuberant young man who is out there eager to prove himself. Yes,
like he did with July.
Yeah, exactly. So I would go with Mali. Then obviously with Jala picks himself
he certainly does.
at this moment.
Yeah, he
picks himself. Then I'll have Divine Lunga again. He didn't have a good game the last time out, but you know it happens in football. Yeah. You know you don't you're not on top of your game every game. So
why is that true for Divine and not true for Washington?
No, Divine, he didn't have a good game, but he didn't have a
A bad
Bad.
game.
a
Yeah.
bad game that can.
There's a level you
traumatize
need to
himself.
operate at
He-
as a professional.
Yes. So he didn't have that. Then I have Garanganga and Takwara back in as the center backs, and then I have Andy and Marshall playing. I would like to have them that triangle, whether they are double or then with Tawanda Chirewa
In front of them, yeah.
in front of them. Yes. Then I have Jordan Zemura on the left and. We have Tawanda Maswanse on the right. Those two are also capable of funneling inside as well. That's
Right.
the beauty of it. Then I will have Knowledge Msona up front.
Okay. Now, that lineup, I think, because at one stage we had that lineup on the field of play. I think that's when we were most
Towards
threatening.
the end, just before they pulled out.
With that, we were most threatening when we
Knowledge.
had
Yes.
that lineup on the pitch, and
love to
then
have it.
he extracted Knowledge Musona. The one
And
change
I actually
that
thought, why?
Oh,
But you later explained why he pulled him.
there's two changes I think that Michael Nees is going to make. Unfortunately, they're critical ones. I suspect the Washington Arubi is going to start. I also suspect the Kama Billiot is going to start in place of Tawanda Maswanisi, of which I don't think that. I'm questioning the fitness of Kama Billiot. If I'm to be
It's
fair.
not like I don't believe
not his
in
quality.
Kama.
Yeah.
It's not like I don't believe in Kama's quality. Let's be honest. We watched Kama play. Kama didn't play in the first game in the Premiership. When he came on for the match, he looked jaded. He was not fit. I was actually surprised that he actually started in the game against Benin. And I don't know. He is a very quality player, but he is not yet fit.
I think he's forcing it. I think
He's forcing it.
He's forcing
Kama is
an
not fit.
injury.
We love Kama. We love him. But I think for now, better as an impact player.
Exactly.
than
Yeah, I
to
think
actually
that
start
would be
game.
the
I
prudent
don't think so.
decision
Yeah.
to have him come off the bench and
Yeah.
try to impact the match from the bench.
I-
Starting
That's
him
what I
would be
think.
would be a
Starting
bit
him,
of
I
a
don't-
stretch
I-
because
I-
defensively we would need him to track back as well if
Yeah.
we are
And
gonna.
yeah,
But
can't.
then if you ask me, like you asked me the previous game, to set the lineup that I think Nice will set up, then it's a different story.
Yeah.
This one that I said,
That's
laid out
yours.
is mine.
How is that different to the one you think Nees is going to set up?
That those same two changes.
Those two changes.
Yeah.
I also believe so. think that-
I believe so.
Because
I
I'm just
believe
thinking
so.
that for large period, I'm thinking for large periods of the game tomorrow, we're going to be chasing shadows.
Yes.
yeah, we're going to be.
and,
I know you're very
looking
right
to go
about
on the
that,
counter attack. So that's where for me Kama will be a bit of a liability coming back to do defensive work.
Right.
So let's see what Michael
Ah,
Nice
what do you mean?
will serve up.
So when we come on the show tomorrow, it's likely that kickoff will be at that time. It's at 6 p.m. So we're gonna watch along with you.
Yes.
So join us on the show for a bit of a watch along. But I think before we see A, the lineup, B, how the game has started, I'm gonna ask the team in studio for the predictions. Starting with you, Chris.
Listen, don't arrest me, okay? Because people are being arrested left, right, and center.
Especially people on radio.
Especially on broadcast.
On broadcast.
So please don't arrest me. To be fair to the Warriors, I think they've done a splendid job. McAnee's done a great job. But I think this Nigeria side is strong. I think we'll be lucky to walk out of that stadium on like a 2-1 scoreline.
2-1.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
To Nigeria.
To Nigeria, yeah.
I think we're going to be one huge banana skin for Nigeria and give this away to South Africa to qualify. We are going to beat them 2-1. If their lineup that I said should start starts, we'll beat them 2-1. If we play the one that you said he might, then it's gonna be 1-1.
1-1. Another draw.
Either way, we're gonna have one.
It's going to be
Yeah,
one
we're
good
gonna-
game.
one big game for Zimbabwe.
Okay.
I feel it. Banana skin
Sure.
Good man.
for Nigeria.
Shona.
My heart says 1-1 draw, but my head says 2-1 win for Nigeria.
2-1 win. Okay, so 1-1 if things go our way, but 2-1 to Nigeria if things go the proper way.
Yeah. And you?
Okay. For me, I think that it's going to be I think it's going to be a 2-all draw.
2-2 draw.
I think it's going to be a 2-2 draw.
I love the way we are all positive about this game.
Yeah,
tomorrow. So
I
it
think
means
it's
we
going
are
to be a
there.
2-2 draw.
We believe in
I
these
think
boys.
because I don't think that we are shiri.
At least. No, at least.
And I think
No,
that
at least.
we're capable of actually causing a bit of an upset. So I'm going to give this a 2-2 draw. And I think we've got goals in us, especially
Yes, we
with
have.
knowledge out on the field, with Prince Dube able to come on. I think he's going to be an impact player with the likes of your Mashani says to come off the bench. I think we've got something in the tank. Also, we've talked about the Nigeria forward line, but their defense is okay. It's not world class.
It's not world class.
So
we can penetrate.
It's a team sport. So I think that they have a fantastic forward line. They're like a Ferrari. They've got a fantastic engine, but not much boot space. So we'll try and take advantage.
They've got a defense like Comoros.
Like the Comoros. All right, let's take you around the world in 60. Then we're going to read your messages as part of the fan zone.
Stay right where you are. Move to the groove of the nation.
Around the world in 60 seconds. International sports news.
In Mount Maunganui, where it's Manganui.
Maunganui, yeah.
You know what I said? Wanganui.
Oh.
Anyway. Mount Maunganui, where New Zealand's ruthless pace attack carved up Pakistan to deliver a crushing 115-run win in the fourth T20 International to clinch the 5-match series with an unassailable 3-1 lead. In Florida, Novak Djokovic is through to the last 16 of the Miami Open after a 6-1, 7-6 win over a spirited Camilo Ugo Carabelli. In California, the return of LeBron James and Rui Hachimura could not save the LA Lakers from a 6 defeat in 9 NBA games as they were well beaten by the Chicago Bulls. And in Shanghai, Oscar Piastri beat teammate Lando Norris as McLaren sealed a dominant 1-2 at the Chinese Grand Prix, while both Ferrari drivers were disqualified for illegal cars. And we're going to talk about that, I'm sure you want to, on tomorrow's show. It's proudly brought to you by Zimoko.
Play of the day. The biggest artists with their biggest hits on the biggest show. ZiFM Sport.